So welcome everyone to Computer Applications and Mining class. And we are almost at the end of our course for this semester. Today probably will be second last class. So what we'll do today is some part of statistics that is also important. So in our this module that we are discussing, we have already seen examples of a statistical analysis, right? We have seen regression modeling, how the regression is done, how the curve fitting is done, how we calculate the R square, the coefficients in linear fitting and non-linear fitting by regular regression analysis, right? We have seen how we calculate R square, what is adjusted R square and how that is calculated. And then we dwelt into the some basics of neural networks, how they work, and some fuzzy logic interfaces, right? So all this last time we have discussed, and we have also seen some examples. In statistics, itna hi rahega. Most of the cases that we deal with can be, uh, most of the data that we deal with can be dealt with these methods and well analyzed. They can be easily analyzed. Ultimately, do remember our aim for any statistical analysis, this kind what we are working on. Till now, we were thinking about how to basically represent our data that we obtained from the field or from our lab tests or whatever data we obtained from other sources, simulations, etc. And to frame a model, be it equation in form of equation, be it in form of some setup like a neural network or a fuzzy logic, and train that model to represent that data. So whatever inputs we give the corresponding output representing our data we can obtain, right? So that was the whole point of whatever we were discussing in last so many lectures, right? And an important part of uh, researchers work is to actually uh, find that model to present it or to publish it basically. Okay, so because you can't just publish your trends or your results, that will be very uh, uh, data-based sort of a research. But what you found from that data, that is there a trend, is there a model that can predict future values, that can represent what is happening, right? So that was the whole point of this sort of regression modeling. Today, we will be discussing one less used aspect, but very important aspect of statistical modeling or statistical analysis called hypothesis testing. Okay. So today's lecture will be a little bit of a interactive sort of. So I will actually have to explain things more into like in a form of a discussion. So we'll do that. And this I think will continue in our lab class as well. So tomorrow's class I won't be able to take because I have to go out for some field trip. Some mines are there nearby that pending work is there. So I will not be taking your class tomorrow, but either there will be some assignment that will be there, or if one of our faculties is free, they will take your class for Internet of Things, IoT. But I have to find out if he's free. Okay. So if he's not, then we won't be physically meeting tomorrow, but we will have some interaction through. I mean, physically. I mean, we will not be meeting on this media tomorrow, but we will have some interaction in form of assignment or something like that. Okay. So let's start today's lectures. It will take some time. And what's your next schedule? You have classes next? Okay, elective. Okay, I will try to be on time. Let's try. Okay. So today's work is more into something called the hypothesis testing. What is hypothesis testing? It's basically something like what we propose, whatever we have found out from our research. Is it actually significant enough? Does it actually represent something out of the ordinary? And that's the whole point. That's the whole perspective of a hypothesis testing, where that whatever we are proposing, is it actually worth it? Is it actually significant deviation from whatever is actually known? Okay. Let's take, for example, I think this we were discussing while we were introducing the statistics subject as well. But let's take the example again. So suppose we have a group of slopes and a mining region is there, and it has many mines that are there in some regions, right? 4 or 5 mines, like in Northern Coalfields Limited or something. So each of these mines will have so many slopes, so many sections of slopes that will be there, and each of these slopes will have their own stability conditions. There will be in-pit slopes, there will be overburden slopes, and so on. So many things will be there, right? Suppose by the above study that all the slopes have been studied by researchers, that some factor of safety calculations have been done or some simulations have been done, and they say that okay, factor of safety for most of the slopes are having an average value of suppose 0.99, or so let's make them stable. Suppose they are 1.12. Okay, they are saying that most of the slopes with have an average factor of safety of 1.12. And they also say that it's basically distributed along a statistical model. Suppose it is the factor of safety is distributed along normal distribution. So with respect to whatever studies they have done, they have found that the standard deviation also, they have found that okay, it is something around 0.3. So they have found the standard deviations as well as the mean or factor of safety of the whole region. Okay, this much information they have. So now we are talking about statistics. So do remember, statistics will mostly involve probability many times. So right now we are also discussing about how the probability of factor of safety is there. So this is basically a probability distribution. Okay. So with a mean of 1.12 and a standard deviation of 0.3. Okay. Now we like our example, another researcher, what she did was, she said that okay, you say that in this region there are many slopes and their factor of safety has an average value of 1.2 and the distribution is like this. But I say that whatever factor of safety you have found, I say that those slopes which have greenery on them or have vegetation on them, I say that they have a factor of safety higher than 1.12. Okay, so she claims that it is more than 1.12, not 1.12 as I have claimed already, or some existing researchers are. Okay, and what she did, she actually found 30 slopes with vegetation. Okay, and she said that from whatever I have found, actually I am getting a mean value of 1.25, which is greater than 1.12. So according to her, what she said was that my research shows conclusively that vegetated slopes will have a factor of safety greater than the whatever you have found, and this statement shows something new. Okay. Now the question arises here that since we have a large variation of factor of safeties, you are seeing here. So this basically the center one basically gives a 1.12, but as per the standard deviation of 0.3, this will have very limits of around 3 3 9, so 9.0 to 0.2, 0.2 to around 9, so 2.0, and even higher, right? So what we are seeing right now, the curve, because of the standard deviation and the mean, whatever was given originally, it has already has a very high variation uh, in its own uh, in its own values, right? So even though the mean is at 1.12 and the standard deviation has been given, so the extremities are on the 0.2 to 1.2.0 here is according to the distribution. Now, when the researcher says that I have surveyed 30 samples that have a factor of safety of 1.25, does that mean she has actually disproven this fact that the average factor of safety of normal or all slopes is 1.12, or has she proven her fact satisfactorily, or is there a condition that actually whatever she has found in 30 slopes is actually falling in the general randomness of this sample? So what does that mean? Basically that means that we may have like 100, 200, 400 samples of slopes here, right? So it might have been so many numbers. We don't know. We initially we can't say how many numbers are there, but we just have a distribution of factor of safety. And according to that, there may be a case that these 30 samples are so randomly distributed that they can come in a condition which already falls in the normally distributed factor of safety of this all the samples or all the slopes that are there. Okay. So is this new research that the researcher has done that shows that the vegetated factor of safety of slopes is higher? Is that significant, or does it fall under the randomness that is already there? So this whole analysis, whatever new thing I am proposing, uh, whatever the change from the regular I am proposing, is it significant enough, or does it fall under the same randomness that we already have observed, is called the hypothesis testing. Okay. So the whole point of it is basically finding out that what new knowledge we have, or what new claim we are doing, or claim we are setting, is it significant as compared to whatever we already know? So that we can do statistically by giving some numbers or some significant values in form of some fractions or some percentages, and that will actually that can actually be considered as, okay, this research is seriously significant, or this is not significant at all. Okay. So these kind of studies comes in the purview of hypothesis testing. Why this is important? Again, because many times we are doing so many types of research, and we can't repeat the same research that has been done already, because what's the use? But then we go into depth of it. So now when the level of our expertise increases, when we go from, suppose, bachelor's to master's to PhD and even further research, our focus area keeps on decreasing. Okay, so maybe in bachelor's we are working on all types of slopes, and masters we are working on particular type of slopes which are found in the coal bedded regions only. In PhD we may be working even in a niche area where in coal bedded slopes we have particular type of soil that has a particular type of variation of grades, or particular type of variation of material properties or something. So the focus keeps on decreasing, so that we can do a significant research in a very small focused area. That's what the uh, progression of research happens in that way. So if we are doing some research that is a part of a broader area that has been already studied, to find that whatever we have done is significant, The statistical distributions basically help us do that. Okay. Now, before taking steps ahead, we have to be clear of few terms that are generally used in this kind of hypothesis testing. Okay. One thing is population. Population basically means all of the area that we are talking about. Suppose in this example only, if we talk about whatever the number of slopes that were there originally, 300, 400, 500, whatever, all of those, irrespective of what we are focusing on, the broader area that has all the data or all the things that are possible comes under a population set. Okay. So, for example, if we are looking into uh, an example of uh, where there are 100 people who have an average IQ of 150, suppose, and some city exclaims that uh, claims that the out of these 100 who studies in this particular school, they have a higher IQ than on 120, whatever 150 did we decided. So the population basically will include all those 100 or more students that are there in that area. And this generally in most of the cases we don't know the size of the population. But we, for doing a sort of a hypothesis testing, we have to know the distribution of the parameter with respect to the population. So for example, in this example that we were talking about in terms of slope stability, we don't know how many slopes are there. So they can be 100, 200, 400, and so on. But we know that the average factor of safety of these slopes, whatever number of slopes, we know this, and we know how they are distributed. So an idea is there of uh, the general trend of that particular thing that we are trying to analyze with respect to the population. So in general sense, population entails a complete uh, set of all the data that is possible. Okay. Sample again is now whatever we choose from this set. Okay. This is the complete set that is there. Whatever we choose from this set for our analysis, for our claim of research, that is the sample that we are doing. So in the previous example that we were discussing, the the 30 samples that they took, the researcher took 30 samples. So out of the whole population, the sample size became 30. Okay. Mean and standard deviation you already know, so I won't be going into those because it's whatever we have already discussed about the probability distributions, different kind of distributions, and so on. But in a normal distributed area, the mean falls in the center, and so does the median and the mode. And the distribution or the type of the curve that we see here is based on what kind of standard deviations are there, right? So based on the standard deviation, the amount of samples that come is constrained in this. So this one was around for one standard deviation, 2 standard deviation, and 3 standard deviations, right? So we saw how much variation for a normally distribution curve it had, like 66%, 95.2%, and 99%, right? So this was about the normally distributed curve, right? We have different types of distributions as well. If you remember, we had logarithmic, we had beta distribution, alpha distribution. We had so many other triangular distribution, right? Constant distribution. So different types of distributions, we already have discussed these. In general, most of the cases where hypothesis testing will be done, we will consider normally distributed data sets. Okay. If we are very specific in our analysis, we can have a customized data sets of whatever distribution we might have, but again, then the parameters will change accordingly to that. But for understanding of the hypothesis testing, we will be considering a normally distributed data set. Okay, इतना ठीक है. Now, what is hypothesis? And अभी तक इतना सारा बोल रहे हैं hypothesis testing और ये सब, but what does a hypothesis mean? Hypothesis is basically something we claim, right? Some claim we made. Uh, This claim can be a totally new thing, or this claim can be based on whatever knowledge we have. So whatever knowledge we have, that generally comes into a category of the null hypothesis. It is denoted by H nod. Okay. And whatever we give, the new hypothesis or the first hypothesis or whatever you want to give, it can be denoted by H1, H2, H3 or any number with H. Okay. So that is termed into hypothesis. Now, for example, this one, as we were discussing, this is the same example that we were discussing with a little bit of more values. So the factor safety of the slopes of a particular mining area is 1.26. Okay, so and with a standard deviation of 0.38. Okay, and the researcher proposes that vegetated slopes have higher factor of safety than non-vegetated slopes. And she studied 30 sample slopes and found that the mean is 1.54. She has already found that the mean is higher, but is that coming into the same randomness that we have to find? So find if the findings are significant, and the critical significance level is 0.05. So that we'll discuss. So in this question or in this type of problem, before we delve into further details, we have to find what is the actually null hypothesis and what is the hypothesis that we are proposing. Okay, can someone say what is actually the null hypothesis here and what hypothesis we are proposing? Anyone wants to have a comment on that? कोई कुछ आइडिया किसी को नल हाइपोथेसिस क्या हो सकती है इसमें, एंड व्हाट वी आर प्रपोजिंग, व्हाट इज द मेन हाइपोथेसिस दैट वी आर टेस्टिंग? एनी आइडिया? वांट टू ट्राई, वांट टू गिव अ ट्राई? कोशिश करो अभी तक जो समझ में आया उस बेसिस पे.
Sir, if the factor of safety is equal to 1.26, that can be assumed as null hypothesis.
बढ़िया.
And in other case, that is if it is less than or if it is greater than, not greater than but less than, I think it will be
Okay.
alternate.
So पहला वाला पार्ट तुम्हारा बिल्कुल सही है, एंड इट इज एक्चुअली इट इज द करेक्ट वे टू आल्सो रिप्रेजेंट इट. तो as I said, null hypothesis means अभी हमें क्या पता है. Okay, what we know and whatever data that is there, that according to that, whatever is known already. So as Prabhu said, the null hypothesis is that the average value of the factor of safety of that area is 1.26 as is mentioned in this problem. Okay, so this condition is null hypothesis. What that researcher claims that all the vegetated areas have a higher factor of safety. Okay, she claims that vegetated slopes have a higher factor of safety. Higher factor of safety matlab mu will be greater than, or the average will be greater than 1.26. That is what she claims, right? So this one, the new mu greater than or the average greater than 1.26 will be a hypothesis that we have to check whether it is significant or not. Okay, so this one becomes our hypothesis and this one becomes null hypothesis. Clear है? कुछ समझ में आया? Okay, एक एग्जाम्पल और लेते हैं. सपोज let me put that example here, that will be easier. Okay, suppose I have this kind of problem. Wait a minute. Let me give you a statement that will become easier. Hold on. Okay. Suppose this one is there, a new question that a principal at a certain school claims that the student in his school are above average intelligence. He claims that हमारे स्कूल से बच्चे जो हैं उनकी इंटेलिजेंस बाकी सब लोगों का जो एवरेज है उससे काफ़ी अच्छी है. A random sample of 30 students with IQ scores have a mean score of 112. ठीक है, randomly 30 students लिए गए in that school and the mean was 112. Is there sufficient evidence to support this principal's claim? The mean population IQ is 100 with a standard deviation of 50. क्या इसमें कोई बता सकता है, जैसे अभी हम लोगों ने डिसाइड किया था पिछले वाले में, what is the null hypothesis and what is that? Can someone tell in this what is the null hypothesis and what is the new hypothesis? बताओ इसमें null hypothesis क्या होगी? Null hypothesis मतलब what we know. Okay. Someone wants to try?
Sir, mean population of class is 100. That is null hypothesis.
ठीक है, very good. Someone else want to try about the what hypothesis we want to give? प्रभु को तो समझ में आ गया लगता है.
Mu greater than 100
है ना, easy. इस तरीके से whatever we want to find out, whatever we want to actually find the significance, in that sense we have to find our two hypotheses. Whatever is null hypothesis that we know and whatever is our hypothesis that we want to prove. अब इसमें केस ऐसा भी हो सकता था, कोई क्वेश्चन ऐसा भी हो सकता था that would have something like a mu not equals to 100, है ना. तो इसमें दोनों ही केसेस हो सकते थे where mu is हमारे hypothesis में either less than 100 or is greater than 100, right? It should not be equal to 100. ऐसा भी हो सकता था कोई केस. For now they are just claiming that they have a higher intelligence, right? इनमें भी इसमें भी higher करा है इन्होंने above average, इसमें भी इन्होंने above average किया है. ये वाले एग्जाम्पल में भी इन्होंने हायर फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी लिखा. सो हायर फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी मतलब ग्रेटर हो गया. तो दिस इज यूनिडायरेक्शनल सॉर्ट ऑफ कि हम लोगों को इससे ज़्यादा आना चाहिए, राइट. कोई ऐसे केसेस हो सकते हैं जिसमें ऐसा नहीं हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक मैं एग्जाम्पल और देता हूँ दैट विल मेक इट एक्चुअली अ लिटिल बिट मोर क्लियर. क्योंकि once we understand how to understand the hypothesis, then we will understand कि होता क्या है, उसके आगे क्या करना. तो suppose this is an example. Suppose this. Suppose this one is an example. ये थोड़ा नया है, मैंने उसी में कॉपी कर दिया. तो let me rub this out. ठीक है, इस एग्जाम्पल को पढ़ो. This says that blood glucose level for obese patients, those who are overweight and obese, have a mean of 100 with a standard deviation of 15. Researchers think that a diet high in raw cornstarch will have a positive or negative effect on blood glucose. सैम्पल ऑफ 30 सेम सिमिलर है, वैल्यू सिमिलर है, बट इसमें देखो दोनों साइड का वर्क किया हुआ है कि अ सैम्पल ऑफ 30 पेशेंट्स have tried the raw cornstarch diet and have mean glucose level of 140. Okay, test the hypothesis that raw cornstarch had an effect. Basically क्या है, जैसे when this sort of medicinal testings are done, तो उसमें क्या करते हैं, they sometimes give to the test audience a placebo as well as a actual drug. जैसे अभी कोरोना की टेस्टिंग हो रही होगी, सो कोरोना वैक्सीन में एक प्लेसिबो दिया जाएगा. प्लेसिबो इज बेसिकली नथिंग, no drug basically. It's like sometimes even a distilled water or sometimes even some harmless glucose or something like that. That is known to have no effect. And a drug will also be delivered. So a mixture of this is done, and then they see actually the drug is significantly having more effect or not. तो बेसिकली इस तरीके का ही क्वेश्चन है, इस तरीके का ही सिचुएशन है वेयर what the researcher says is that a diet high in raw cornstarch will have some effect, either positive or negative. Basically it will affect the blood glucose. That's what he claims. तो इसमें हमारी नल हाइपोथेसिस क्या होगी, वो ये सेम रहेगी कि एवरेज ग्लूकोज जो है उसकी वैल्यू 100 है यहाँ पे, of the blood glucose level of the obese patient is 100. लेकिन जो हमारी hypothesis है, the researchers hypothesis, what it says is that it won't be 100 as soon as we start the cornstarch diet. Okay, now in this case it can be either less than 100 or greater than 100 as well. तो ऐसे तीन cases बन सकते हैं where we have a hypothesis which has suppose if we are talking about mean only here, so mean less than, mean greater than, and or greater than or less than, मतलब basically greater than, equal to, not equal to, and these three conditions can be there, correct? तो उस बेसिस पे हमारी हाइपोथेसिस तैयार हो सकती है. जनरली न्यूमेरिकल सेंस में अभी बात कर रहे हैं. When we test hypothesis, we also talk about subjective way, मतलब नॉन ऑब्जेक्टिव वे में, जिसमें न्यूमेरिकल्स नहीं होते कि अगर हम लोग रेड ग्रीन कलर ज़्यादा देखते हैं तो हमारी आई साइट ज़्यादा वीक हो जाती है क्या, ऐसा करके कुछ. ओके, तो so this is about how we decide what is our hypothesis and what is not. Okay, what is null hypothesis and what is our hypothesis. Okay, थोड़ा सा क्लियर हुआ इसमें. अब आते हैं कि थोड़ी सी और टर्म्स की ये सब क्या चीज़ें हैं, जेड वैल्यू, पी वैल्यू एंड ऑल दिस थिंग्स. तो उसके लिए जेड वैल्यू एक टर्म होता है दैट बेसिकली टेल्स अस वेयर आवर डेटा लाइज ऑन द रैंडम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. द फॉर्मूला फॉर जेड is something like this, where z equals to x bar minus mu naught over sigma by root n. अच्छा, what all this is, अभी अभी हम लोग जो डिस्कस कर रहे थे उसके बेसिस पे समझते हैं. Let our normal distributed population have a curve like this. Okay, we only know this one about the population, that suppose for our example यहाँ पे it has an average of 1.26, right? ये हमारा population के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, that indicates our null hypothesis. Okay, that it has a population, that is, it has a mean mean factor of safety of 1.26 and a standard deviation of 0.38, right? So as we know, 99.6 or 7% of the data falls in 3 standard deviations for our normally distributed curve. अगर तुम लोग थोड़ा सा ध्यान करो, what is the probability for a normally distributed curve. So this is 0, that is 0 deviation. This is 1 standard deviation. This is 2 standard deviation. This is 3 standard deviation. Similarly, there is -1 standard deviation, -2 standard deviation, and -3 standard deviation, right? ठीक है. In terms of standard deviation, actually इसकी वैल्यू 1.26 है, right? जो मीन की वैल्यू है, इसको ऊपर लिख देता हूँ, 1.26, right? Actually इसकी वैल्यू 1.26 है, but in terms of standard deviation अगर आगे देखें तो अगर एक स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन पे जाएंगे और वी मूव टू वन स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन, वॉट एवर द वैल्यू ऑफ दैट इज हियर इट इज 0.38, तो 1.26 प्लस 0.38 यहाँ की वैल्यू होगी, प्लस 0.38 यहाँ की वैल्यू होगी, उससे प्लस 0.38 यहाँ की वैल्यू होगी, राइट। सो उसी तरीके से नेगेटिव में, राइट। तो उस हिसाब से अगर देखा जाए तो यहाँ का क्या हो जाएगा वैल्यू 1.6894 राइट। ऐसे ही इस तरीके का भी निकाल सकते हैं, इस टाइप का भी निकाल सकते हैं। सो अल्टीमेटली दिस काइंड ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन वी नो फ्रॉम आवर मीन नल हाइपोथेसिस क्राइटेरिया, करेक्ट। अब जो z वैल्यू है, z वैल्यू व्हाट इट सेज इज कि इफ आई हैव अ पर्टिकुलर x बार, और जो हमने नए डेटा सेट लिए हैं उसके बेसिस पे उसका जो मीन है, द न्यू मीन दैट वी वांट टू चेक, h नॉट, सॉरी h1, ओके, उसके बारे में बात हो रही है राइट नाउ, ओके। म्यू नॉट है द नल हाइपोथेसिस मीन जो यहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं, ओके। ये सिग्मा इज बेसिकली स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन जो ओरिजिनल उसका है, ओरिजिनल पॉपुलेशन का है, SD, राइट। एंड n is the number of samples that we took to test our new hypothesis H1. So ये number of samples हो गए और जो हम लोगों ने टेस्ट किए। Now do remember in general sense हम लोगों को population का numbers नहीं पता रहते, how much is the population के samples, total amount of samples generally नहीं पता रहता, we just get the data that it represents for the population, right? And what we have for us is for our hypothesis testing, जो हमारी hypothesis है उसे टेस्ट करने के लिए हमारे पास numbers भी होंगे। So she studied 30 samples. Basically यहाँ पे जो n होगा, number of samples becomes 30, right? And found that factor of safety is 1.54, mean factor of safety was 1.54. तो जो hypothesis हमारी है उसके हिसाब से जो मीन आएगा दैट इज पुट हियर, तो फॉर दैट द वैल्यू इज 1.54, राइट। यहाँ का वैल्यू हमें पहले से ही पता है 1.26, राइट। एंड ये है स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन दैट इज आल्सो गिवन 0.38। जरा जल्दी से निकाल के बताओ कि z की वैल्यू क्या आ रही है, व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ z इफ ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर गिवन। z का सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है? z का सिग्निफिकेंस ये है कि it will give the amount of standard deviation that our value is on this curve, okay, कि वो कहाँ बैठती है। So हमारी 1.54 जो वैल्यू है for 30 samples that we have tested, where does it sit on this plot, this normal distribution plot, okay? That z value will indicate the location of that point. तो अभी जैसे तुम लोग निकालोगे तो 1.54 माइनस 1.26
4.035।
लिखो जरा कम उसमें कमेंट में लिखना। दिस इज स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन इज 0.38 एंड दिस इज रूट ऑफ 30। कितना आया? मेरा माउस कहाँ गया? अच्छा 4.035, ठीक है। ओके इसे खोलते हैं, एक मिनट। यहाँ पे ठीक है, तो हमारी z की वैल्यू आ गई 4.035। लेट्स राइट इट 4.035, ठीक है। 4.035 का मतलब ये है कि जो हमारा वैल्यू आ रहा है फॉर मीन ऑफ 1.54, इट इज बेसिकली फॉलोइंग at after 4 standard deviation 4.035 स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशंस पे पहुंच रहा है. ओके ये किस बेसिस पे कैलकुलेट हो रहा है? ये सिर्फ मीन बेसिस पे नहीं कैलकुलेट हो रहा है. इट इज नॉट जस्ट टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द मीन, इट इज ऑल्सो टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द नंबर ऑफ सैंपल्स दैट वी हैव टेकन. ओके सो whatever the condition may be of the population is the z value basically gives us the location of that new test that we have done or new research we have done, new data that we have obtained. Based on what we have obtained, its average values and the number of samples that have been tested. Okay, the original ones, the original mean and the original standard deviation should be given. So on the basis of that, we find that जो हमारा significant the z value है जो where this data should sit is basically around 4 standard deviations, 4.03 standard deviation somewhere here. Okay, यहाँ पे. अब एक चीज आती है p value. p value क्या होती है? p value tells us what is the probability. p value basically is indicates probability. Okay, किस चीज की probability? What is the probability that our data, जो हम लोगों का डेटा है with a particular z value, what is the probability that it will have significant difference from the known value or the h ये जो null hypothesis है उससे significantly different है कि नहीं? ठीक है, that is called a p value. P value basically gives us an idea of how much difference we have. What is the chance that our data will have drastic difference from the mean data. ठीक है, ये चांस के बेसिस पे हम लोग डिसाइड करते हैं कि हमारा एक्चुअली डेटा सिग्निफिकेंट है कि नहीं. ठीक है, अब हम लोगों ने निकाल ली z वैल्यू, राइट? z वैल्यू निकाल ली, करेक्ट. z वैल्यू को p वैल्यू में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए वी हैव समथिंग कॉल्ड अ z टेबल. ओके, अल्टीमेटली क्या हो रहा है ये समझो. इफ यू रिमेंबर, इसका एक हम लोगों ने क्यूमुलेटिव चार्ट बनाया था फॉर दिस वन इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, राइट? इसका एक क्यूमुलेटिव चार्ट बनाया था, इफ यू रिमेंबर, ऐसा करके कुछ ऐसा आया था. in here it was 100% probability, right? Or in here it was 0%, and here there were standard deviations from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, right? ऐसे कुछ था, remember कि एक हम लोगों ने cumulative plot भी बनाया था. This probability is basically that versus p versus z. This cumulative plot is basically p versus z value. तो अगर हम लोगों को z वैल्यू पता है, बेसिकली वेयर आवर डेटा लाइज इन टर्म्स ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन, वी कैन फाइंड द प्रोबेबिलिटी वैल्यू दैट इसका कितना प्रोबेबिलिटी है इसका सिग्निफिकेंस उस साइड होने का, राइट? सो p वैल्यू हम लोगों को निकालनी है फ्रॉम दिस क्यूमुलेटिव कर्व. अब स्टैंडर्ड नॉर्मल स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन, normally distributed data का we can easily find this p values by given z value tables. तो ये बहुत आसानी से मिल जाते हैं. I'll show you very quickly. एक अगर तुम लोग just search करो z value for normal distribution, z value चार्ट कह लो या टेबल कह लो, हाँ, तो you will find many tables that are existing there. Okay, these kind of tables are there. That includes minus 3.5 to plus 3.9 or even because 4 मतलब काफ़ी out of the हो गया. ठीक है, that this kind of table basically gives us these probability values. Okay, इनको कैसे use करना I will tell you. But a better way, because we again come to computer applications, and when we have a better way, why can't we use that easier way out? Okay, so we have a better way. A site is there, website is there that have a tool of finding this z value easily on the normally distributed curve. तो ये देख रहे हो जैसे दिस वन बेसिकली गिव्स अस एन आइडिया ऑफ हाउ मच परसेंटेज ऑफ डेटा इज देयर बेस्ड ऑन द जेड वैल्यू। ओके, हम लोगों को क्या करना है अभी, हम लोगों को दे हैव थ्री ऑप्शंस, या तो ज़ीरो से नेगेटिव पॉजिटिव में जा सकते हैं, या फिर पूरा डेटा को कवर कर सकते हैं फ्रॉम ज़ीरो टू दिस। सो बेसिकली दिस विल गिव अस अ प्रोबेबिलिटी। ओके, एंड जेड ऑनवर्ड्स भी कर सकते हैं, सो नेगेटिव पार्ट। Okay, what we want right now is to find this one on the left. Okay, so what we are trying to find now कि जो हमारी z वैल्यू है उसको, उससे हमारी z वैल्यू काफ़ी हाई है, उसमें कितना डेटा आ जाता है। सपोज ये वाला क्वेश्चन में जो z वैल्यू आई है दैट इज़ 4 और हमारी जो आ रही है वो 4 के ऊपर है। सपोज वी हैव अ z वैल्यू ऑफ, हमारे कोई भी सीन होता है तो काफ़ी सिग्निफिकेंट है बेसिकली, बट if suppose we have a z value that comes to be z equals to suppose 2.15. okay, let's assume just to understand कि क्या हो सकता है। So 2.15 basically will mean that somewhere here our data falls right on the probability chart. 2 standard deviations, 2.15 standard deviations. okay, इससे क्या होता है, if we go back to that, what we want to find out, okay, इसका मैं लिंक भेजता हूँ, you can also try this. What we want to find out from this is, sorry, इस side, हाँ, how much percentage of data is there on the right side of it. ठीक है, राइट साइड में कितना परसेंटेज डेटा है विद अवर z वैल्यू। सो फॉर आवर z वैल्यू दैट इज 2.15, 2.15 अगर हम लोग थोड़ा सा, इफ दैट इज बीइंग शोन हियर इन दिस नीचे वाला, सो वी जस्ट इधर उधर करके देखते हैं एंड वी रीच 2.15, क्लिक वंस एंड वी फाइंड दैट 1.58% ऑफ द डेटा, 1.58% chance is there that our data is that much on the right side. इसका just opposite कर लोगे तो इस that also you can, like up to z if you want to do, तो 2.15 पे it will be 98.42. So it is just 100 minus that and 100 plus that. Okay. Ultimately करना क्या चाह रहे हैं, करना ये चाह रहे हैं, we have to find that what is the proportion of that data in the extreme level or significant variation is there नहीं. Significant variation क्या हो सकता है, significant variation का एक limit हो सकता है, जैसे what they have given in this question is something called a critical significance level. ठीक है, इसको understand करते हैं पहले और फिर समझते हैं कि अपने क्वेश्चन में ये कैसे एप्लीकेबल है। क्रिटिकल सिग्निफिकेंस लेवल क्या हुआ, क्रिटिकल सिग्निफिकेंस लेवल बेसिकली मीन्स दैट बियॉन्ड दिस नंबर और बिलो दिस अगर p वैल्यू आती है तो दैट मीन्स इट इज सिग्निफिकेंट। सो इफ आवर p वैल्यू is basically less than the critical significant value, that is it is less than for our case 0.05, then our hypothesis becomes significant. Basically whatever we have decided or whatever we propose according to our z value, agar p value is less than 0.05, then our hypothesis has been proved and null hypothesis we can reject. That's the whole point of significance, critical significant level. Okay, so the p value will basically decide कि हमारा hypothesis सही है कि नहीं। ठीक है, तो हम लोगों ने मान लीजिए कि we found that z value is 2.15 and we find that with our this table as well as others that for 2.15, अगर यहाँ पे देखें 2.15, for 2.15 we have a 1.58% of the values in this zone. Okay, what does that mean? 1.58 is basically 1.58% is basically equivalent to a p value of a value of 1.58% is actually equal to 0.0158 of p value. Okay, तो p value निकालने के लिए हमें क्या करना होगा, बहुत सिंपली द परसेंटेज ऑफ डेटा ऑन द अदर साइड निकालना होगा उस कर्व से, ठीक है, ऑफ द अदर साइड ऑफ द z. So whatever our z value we find the percentage of data that is on the other side according to our z value, and any time that whatever we find this value, the percentage value, we capture that and divide it by 100, that means percentage, and that becomes our p value. So in this case अगर हमारा z 1.77 होता तो p would have been 0.0384, right? If our z would have been like 1.36, हमारा p value होता 8.69% या 0.0869. Ultimately, p for our hypothesis to be correct or our hypothesis to be significant, the p should be less than 0.05. ठीक है, that is 5%. अब उस कर्व में देखें तो that is basically 5% वैल्यू. तो 5% वैल्यू किस में आती है, देखो जरा. Somewhere around 1.64 or 1.65, 1.64 and 1.65 के बीच में कहीं आती है, तो 1.645. तो any value of z that is either on the higher side of 1.645 or on the lower side of minus 1.645, basically दोनों साइड हो सकती है ना, it can be in the negative as well as positive. अगर मेरा if I want to check a negative value in some analysis, so I can find that as well, right? So any value that where z is greater than 1.64 in positive side, that 1.645, that will give us that our value is, or our hypothesis is proved, and we can reject null hypothesis. तो reject null hypothesis बड़ा common होता है कि we reject null hypothesis. Once we reject null hypothesis, that means our hypothesis is proved. Rejection of null hypothesis means that average जो था हमारा for this problem, the factor of safety of the slope average जो था, that is not no more 1.26, and जो हम लोगों ने देखा that has significant increase in the average. That cannot be justified by the randomness of the factor of safeties that we have found out. Okay, I think थोड़ा सा clear हुआ होगा इसमें. If overall, if you want to check कि किस तरीके से करते हैं, we basically start with the state of hypothesis. State the hypothesis क्या होती है? Identify the probability distribution, जो हम लोगों ने probability distribution curve निकाला. Significance level बता दिया, the critical significance level, right? And decision rule is basically greater than, less than, right? And collect data that we have already collected, make the so basically find the z and find the p value. Those are the steps. Okay, let me write it here. So first step is find our hypothesis. Hypothesis is 1, both of them, right? Secondly, based on the data, find our z values, right? Simply, and based on that, the tables that are there, find the p value. Okay, and based on p value that you find, if it is less than 0.05 or the critical significance level, whatever is given, then we can reject our null hypothesis. Then null hypothesis will be rejected and our hypothesis will be proved. If it is not significant, or it is greater than or equal greater than 0.05, then we cannot convincingly say that हम लोगों का जो data है that is sufficiently deviating from the average that is there. Significance यही है, देखो बहुत clear है कि अगर हमारा data ऐसे distributed है कि उसकी probability of getting 1.26 is highest, but still some slopes will have some higher and lower values. एंड इन लोगों ने 30 स्टडी करके, इन रिसर्चर्स ने 30 स्टडी करके ये कह दिया कि नहीं नहीं, जो हमने पाया है दैट हैज़ अ हायर फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी, एवरेज हायर फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी। तो द होल पॉइंट इज कि क्या हम ये कह सकते हैं कि ये जो इन्होंने 30 सैंपल से पाया है फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी, इज डज दैट बिलोंग टू दिस एग्जिस्टिंग कर्व जो ये है, या फिर ये इतना एक्सट्रीमिटीज में फाइंड हो रहा है कि इसको अलग डेटा मानना चाहिए। दैट इज द होल पॉइंट ऑफ दिस hypothesis testing. So mainly considered in 3 cases, calculated by 3 values, 3 steps, and once we find the p-value, we can actually find the whether our hypothesis testing is true or false. ठीक है, आई होप थोड़ा सा समझ में आया होगा। इसके ऊपर के और एग्जांपल्स में आई विल लेट यू नो। एक चीज़ और थी, लेफ्ट टेल, राइट टेल और डबल टेल टेस्ट कहते हैं। इसमें क्या होता है बेसिकली, जो हम लोगों ने देखा ना, ये 3 कंडीशंस हैं, और ऑफ लेस देन, ग्रेटर देन एंड नॉट इक्वल टू। लेस देन अगर देखना है हमें, तो दैट इज बेसिकली लेफ्ट टेल, या जो मीन है उसके लेफ्ट साइड में आएगा। राइट टेल होता है जो ग्रेटर देन वैल्यूज होती हैं उसमें राइट में आता है। एंड नॉट इक्वल टू कंडीशन है डबल टेल टेस्ट। ठीक है, टेल का मतलब क्या होता है? इफ यू सी दिस ग्राफ, ये ऊपर वाला जो इन्होंने बनाया हुआ है, दिस वन, these shaded areas are basically significant level, critical significant levels, okay? और इस कर्व में, this the standard deviation curve, sorry, normal distribution curve, these ends are called tails. So if we have a condition where either it is greater than or either it is less than, तो we will have single tail. या तो greater than होगा तो लेफ्ट वाला हम लोग कंसिडर करेंगे, ओ सॉरी राइट वाला कंसिडर करेंगे, और अगर लेस देन होगा तो लेफ्ट वाला कंसिडर करेंगे। ठीक है, अगर नॉट इक्वल टू वाला कंडीशन है तो हम लोग दोनों कंसिडर करेंगे। दैट इज कॉल्ड अ डबल टिल टेस्ट। इसमें क्या होता है डबल टिल टेस्ट में, अगर इफ माई क्रिटिकल सिग्निफिकेंस इज 0.05 या पी वैल्यू जो हमारे यहाँ है वो 0.05 है, तो फॉर कंडीशन इन विच डबल टेल टेस्ट इज देयर, नॉट इक्वल टू इज देयर, हम लोगों की दोनों साइड में 0.05 डिवाइड हो जाती है। तो यहाँ हो जाती है 0.025 और यहाँ हो जाती है 0.025 अगेन। तो जो z वैल्यू आएगी ना, that should result in a p value that is less than 0.025 or greater than, हाँ, is less than 0.025। ठीक है, इस तरीके का केस आना चाहिए फॉर डबल टेल टेस्ट। तो दीज आर समथिंग, सम टाइप ऑफ टेस्ट, मतलब बेसिकली अलग अलग कंडीशन के, एंड दैट्स ऑल इट इज़ अबाउट दिस। इसमें ज़्यादा इतना कोई खास नहीं है इफ़ यू अंडरस्टैंड what we want to find. It is just based on probability, और जो probability से घबरा जाते हैं उनको लगता है अरे ये क्या है, hypothesis क्या है। बेसिकली वी फाइंड z वैल्यू कि कहाँ कितना सिग्निफिकेंस है उस मटेरियल का या उस टेस्ट का, एंड वी फाइंड p वैल्यू, दैट इज प्रोबेबिलिटी, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट वी से कि हाँ भाई p वैल्यू हमारी सपोज 0.05 से कम है, दैट मीन्स जो हमने करा है वो सही है। ठीक है, तो इसको यहीं रोकते हैं, टाइम इज ऑल्सो अप। एनी क्वेश्चंस इन दिस? कुछ समझ में नहीं आया हो या कुछ समझ में आया हो, कुछ डिस्कस करना हो? दिस इज अ गुड एग्जांपल। एक काम करूंगा मैं, व्हाट आई विल डू टुमारो is I will give you some problems to solve based on regression and this, and do try it out. उससे एक आइडिया लगेगा कि कैसे होता है ये चीज़ें। ठीक है, do try it out and submit tomorrow. फिर देखते हैं in the last class on Thursday we'll discuss these things. Okay. Any questions here? Any questions in what we'll discuss today? Anything जो कुछ डाउट आउट हो? No? ठीक है, डू हैव अ लुक एट इट अगेन। बहुत कुछ ऐसा खास नहीं है, नथिंग दैट वी हैव नॉट ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड। इट्स ऑल ओनली दैट वी हैव टेकन वन न्यू फार्मूला एंड फाइंडिंग the p value from the z value. These are the only two things that we have, something that we were not aware of before. Otherwise नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन क्या होता है, स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन क्या होता है, मीन क्या होता है, और किसी चीज़ से हाइपोथेसिस कैसे बनाते हैं, all these things are easier aspects. ठीक है, तो यहाँ रोकते हैं। if
Excuse me,
anything,
sir.
yeah, Prabhu, tell me.
सर हम नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में तो जैसे फॉर्मूला था, जेड का फॉर्मूला तो सिग्मा बाय रूट एन नहीं था, पर इसमें रूट एन डिवाइड क्यों हो रहा है सिग्मा के साथ, ये एक डाउट।
किसमें जेड के फॉर्मूला में रूट एन नहीं था?
सर जेड के नहीं, नॉर्मल जैसे बेसिक नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में हम फाई ऑफ जेड निकालते हैं,
हाँ
उसमें सर डायरेक्ट सिग्मा ही डिवाइड करते हैं म्यू के साथ, जैसे
हाँ, उसमें उसमें क्या होता है, उसमें जो सिग्मा इसमें जो पार्ट हम लोग नहीं लेते हैं उस वाले में, फाइव में, वो होता है नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स का। इस वाले केस में जब हम लोग हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग करते हैं, देन वी हैव टू कंसीडर द नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स एज वेल। ओके, नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स है, नंबर ऑफ सैंपल्स। ठीक है, नंबर ऑफ सैंपल्स कैलकुलेट करने के लिए वी हैव टू हैव दिस, द फैक्टर ऑफ कितने क्या हमारा चेंज आया बेसिकली on the numerator side that you are seeing, what is the change in the mean value with respect to the number of samples that we are taking. So when these two factors are there, that are basically decides the उस केस में हम लोग फिर जब हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग करते हैं, इसलिए इसमें नंबर ऑफ सैंपल्स भी लेना जरूरी है। ठीक है,
ठीक है सर।
तो करके देखो एक बार, इसके और क्वेश्चंस भी मिलेंगे, मैं भेजता हूँ कल, एक बार ट्राई करोगे मज़ा आएगा इसको करने में। बस बेसिकली एक अच्छा टूल है दैट अगेन गिव्स अस कॉन्फिडेंस कि मैंने जो एनालिसिस करी है, रिसर्च करी है, वो सही करी है। ठीक है, और लोग फिर ये नहीं कह सकते अरे ये तो हो चुका है, तुम लोग क्यों करके हो फिर से। नहीं सर, पी वैल्यू हमारी 0.05 से कम है, तो इसलिए इट इज़ सिग्निफिकेंट, इतना कह सकते हैं। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे रोकते हैं। इफ़ एनीवन हैज़ एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस वी कैन हैव, नहीं तो कल विल नॉट बी हैविंग क्लास फेस टू फेस ऐसे, बट कुछ अगर मेरे को समय मिला तो आई विल गिव यू सम थिंग्स टू सॉल्व। एंड अदरवाइज अगर ये जो फागुनी सरकार सर है ना, इफ ही हैज़ नो क्लासेस देन आई विल आस्क हिम टू टेक योर IoT वन, जो कि मैं ले नहीं पाऊंगा अब। ठीक है, देखते हैं कल, आई विल इन्फॉर्म वॉट एवर इज द सिचुएशन। ठीक है, थैंक यू एवरीवन, टेक केयर ऑफ योरसेल्व्स।